Look at that cleared off desk. I'd like to say that I just put everything away in its spot, but you know, there's kind of a mess in here too. While I'm crafting, I like to listen to YouTubers teach and share stories and talk about their lives. And I'll let you listen in a little bit on an Eric Wen video.
Tearing down the tower,
I love so much about crafting, about how I can just glue down anything that makes me happy. I don't need to think about it. I just appreciate colors. I appreciate art and scraps. And it's a good way to really focus on something else. I've had a really hard time putting together videos lately. I've just been feeling a lot of emotions, just heavy, powerful emotions, and trying to sort them out is just rough. I was thinking like, well, what can I share in this video? Like, what do I have to share? What do I even have to offer? And then I decided to look through my writings because I've been doing quite a bit of that lately. Like, is there something that I can read to you? Something from my heart I can share there? And I actually found something, and I'm gonna read it because I feel like even though I wrote this, I need to hear these words. Like, I don't remember when I wrote them, but they're gonna speak to me now. And I hope that they will speak to someone else. How do you see emotions? As unnecessary distractions from what needs to happen, or as clues to who you are on the inside? It's so easy to go to different extremes, but what I believe is so necessary is to be kind to yourself. We are all processing things, whether we acknowledge it or not. We all have deep-seated lies, fears, confusions, regrets, and they can get heavy. A big emotional reaction is kind of like the pain of getting hurt. You touch a hot stove and maybe you yell, maybe you curse. It doesn't matter what noise you make, it's a reaction and you move away from it. You look at where it hurts, you put it in cool water. If a burn is really serious, maybe you go to the doctor. Maybe your emotional reaction feels out of place. Maybe you blow up, yell, curse, cry, rage, and it doesn't seem like it was in response to what actually happened. Maybe you feel ashamed, embarrassed. You might try to act like nothing happened and push those feelings back down too. But what you should do is treat it like a burn. Move away from that situation, physically remove yourself if possible. Look at where it hurts. Ask that reaction some pointed questions. The cool water can be an analogy for kindness and gentleness whilst speaking to your inner self. Maybe the doctor that you need to see is a counselor who can help you ask those questions to get to the root of your pain. Acknowledge pain. Allow yourself to react to it. Maybe even write a list of the things that could be contributing to it. Times of chaos, uncertainty, unrest, loneliness, and fear have been mounting all over the world. There's a reason we aren't feeling like the best versions of ourselves. And therapists and counselors are expensive, but you know what? There's the internet and friends out there that have gone through similar things. Ask someone who you trust how they handle their emotions, how they resolve things within themselves. Even if they aren't masters of it, just you asking can help them to come up with more questions and a different perspective than you had when you started. Together you can grow and listen to and help equip one another. Our weaknesses aren't handicaps, they are connection points. They help us to relate to one another and find compassion for one another. Sometimes we can spend weeks numbing and distracting ourselves from our problems. We try to do everything we can to escape the feelings we don't understand. What we need to do is face them head on, armed with emotional support and healthy coping mechanisms. Life is going to be much sweeter that way.
I'm learning to Kerstin.
Yeah. Would you like a little help?
Help.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's just a little corner.
So the last bit. Ta-da!
Wow, you did it. Do you like this picture?
Yeah. Let's rip that.
Okay.
Mom.
And now for another random moment. I was crushed when this thing got broken, and Sheshtin fixed it. She glued it back together. Oh man. This was my grandpa's, and he gave all the grandkids one of his special plates, one of his special collector's eagle plates. And when we were at the old house, one of the kids took it out of the drawer. I didn't even know that she could reach it on the shelf there, and ran with it. And I was like, no, stop. And then she dropped it, and it broke and like in half, and a bunch of little pieces here. And I just like almost fell down crying. And I didn't expect to have such a huge emotional reaction, but it just like erupted out of me. It was like losing my grandpa all over again. And I was far away. I was in New York when he died, and I flew home and spent a few days with family and flew back. And so there's like, you know how you don't really, so with some people, the way that they go and where you are in your life physically, it's not, your grief isn't the normal kind of grief. It just happens in really strange, disjointed ways. Like I remember one time when I cried and cried because of my Uncle Steve, because somebody just really reminded me of him, that the heart, the attitude, something about this friend reminded me so strongly of my Uncle Steve that I just like started crying, just eating a meal together with them. Grief, man. So happy. Yay. I edited a very different video today, a much more raw video of processing big emotions, talking about how I feel like my emotions are just awful sometimes because they suck my energy, and I feel useless and worn out after having them, and I feel like there's nothing I can do to make things better, so it makes me want to hide from my feelings, and that makes it harder to make videos, and it makes it easier for that lie to creep in that nobody cares what I have to say. So there's just so much noise out there already. But I watched a video of Eric Wynn's, an old vlog back when he used to do vlogs, and it really touched me about how he was so touched to encourage and lift up another creator, and was just so blown away by the ability to be able to do that through videos. And I'm finding out, I'm realizing, I'm learning and growing. I'm seeing that it's better to find a constructive thing to say than to put my emotions out there just that having something hopeful and true and practical advice for pushing on is carrying more weight, more value. So I hope you enjoyed this little video, and I'd love to hear about how you deal with your big emotions and how they make you feel, and just your coping mechanisms. We're going through a lot right now. All of us around the world, even if we're not directly feeling fear or whatever, we're feeling it for other people. And it's just bizarre. We really do need to be easy on ourselves, and we need to give forgiveness. We need to give it to ourselves, to others. We need to show the love that's inside of our hearts and ask for more love to be put inside of there. And I want to say hugs.